guys?
Dude. Welcome to Give Me Five, your weekly podcast where we talk about games, movies, snacks, and more. I'm your host, T. Bishop, with co-host
Milky T.
and Father John in the back, of course.
Good over there.
If this is your guys' first time watching or listening into the podcast, just so that you know, we, like I said, talk about games, movies, snacks. This guy right here, to my left, Mr. Mikey T, is super, super salty about everything.
Yes.
I like to keep things even, and Father John is our fact checker. So we try to keep things fun and talk about what's relevant right now. And so actually, to kind of kick things off, you guys want to talk about some, I guess it's technically not movie stuff. It's
well, let me ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
Do you like John Wick?
I mean, I like Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Do you like John Wick 2?
I haven't. Oh shit! Here we
You
go
haven't
again.
seen it. Okay.
This is
why
why
we
I have
don't
you guys
fucking
around.
like this little fucker.
Whoa!
Right?
So
hey,
this is why
you
I
know what?
have-
I don't even want to talk to you right now. Hey, Father John.
Yeah.
Do you like John Wick?
Obviously.
Oh my god. Wasn't it a great movie?
The best.
One of the best movies. Do you
So
like John Wick 2?
Absolutely.
It was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I like how I immediately get cut out of this
Yeah.
conversation.
How do you feel about
I
a
feel
John
like-
Wick
I feel
TV
dejected.
series?
I feel. Oh.
Tell me more.
Tell you more.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
You know what's crazy though?
Yeah, what's
so
crazy?
I don't watch a lot of movies. And that's just in general. Like so I was telling Father John, like I hate going to the movie theater now because for the longest time I worked at a movie theater and just
Couldn't believe it.
The
Would you like some pop? I can't do it. Do Chinese. Would you like some popcorn?
Do you want to upsize that for 50 cents today? Do you want the extra popcorn?
More butter.
Do you? Actually, it wasn't butter. It was, what do they call it? I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. They made you say like a very specific line.
Really?
It wasn't actually butter. It was like, this is a specific type of canola oil that is supposed to be healthier for you.
I bet you look good in those fucking suspenders.
Yo, I fucking rocked the shit out of the suspenders. Point being,
Yeah.
I used to work in a movie theater, so I really wasn't super fond of movies after that, and sitting in one spot for like an hour and a half was really kind of tough, and that was on those standards. So sitting in a movie theater for potentially 2 or more hours, like it's rough.
Yeah.
So the idea of a John Wick TV show sounds fucking amazing.
Well, the cool part about it too, it's not just like a TV show that's going to be made by Fox or like a small studio. You're not going to have. You're not going to have like. Yeah, it's not going to look like a really bad show like The Flash. Like it's not going to look all like non-cinematic with bad actors.
Hold on,
probably.
so explain the abridged version of that. I like The Flash. I like the TV show, the CW.
It won't look like a normal TV series. This is going to be made by Stars. I think it's produced by Lionsgate.
What is it?
Lionsgate.
Oh, okay, you said it right that time.
Oh, sorry, I said it wrong the first time. So you know what's going to happen?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Whoa!
I did it.
That's a rare occasion that he's able to say Game of Thrones.
So you know it's going to be high quality. So you don't have to worry about like a smaller budget or something like that. So hopefully you're going to get the same kind of quality you would see from like Westworld.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Is Keanu Reeves going to be in it?
I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's a part of the same world.
It's a spin-off?
Yeah, it's a spin-off.
So then it's not a John Wick TV series.
No, it's not to do. I bet you there's going to be John Wick references and little sneaks of them.
Is Keanu Reeves going to... Oh,
I don't know.
I want to
what do you got
know
about this, Father
sneaky
John?
of Keanu Reeves.
So, super, super excited. Let me just read you a quote. So,
Hush up out there!
It's going to be called The Continental. And if you remember in the John Wick series,
The Continental. It's a
hotel. It's a hotel of assassins.
Yeah.
And so it's going to follow that story. And so the CEO of Stars says this. He goes, "The Continental promises to include the thunderous fight sequences and intensely staged shootouts between professional assassins and their targets that fans have come to expect in the John Wick movie franchise, as well as introducing some new, darkly compelling characters who inhabit this underground world. What's really, really cool is Keanu Reeves will serve as a co-executive producer along with the director, Chris Collins, who also has made The Man in the High Castle.
That sounds interesting.
And The Wire will serve as a showrunner and writer."
Yeah!
Sounds good, man. Yeah.
Oh, it snaps.
That's He's a good writer, dude. So hopefully we're gonna get.
I bet that shows up. That was probably like the first article that showed up when you. Jeez.
It's gonna have. I hope it has quality like Westworld, Game of Thrones. They do it twice, right? Oh, yeah. Like anything that's been on HBO, things like that. I think it's gonna have that kind of high quality.
So you're expecting it to be very cinematic.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense for John Wick, just based off of the fact that the other movies had that sort of intention. Like obviously you can, if you ever watched the training that Keanu Reeves went through.
Oh, dude, it's insane. He did straight up intense. So if you haven't seen it, Google.
You can literally go onto YouTube and look up like Keanu Reeves training or like John Wick 2 training, and you'll see him just going ham with like he's doing
full on military training.
Yeah,
like shotgun training.
Two to three weapon speed target shooting. So it's like
he kills it. It's crazy.
He probably kills a lot of people in the movie too.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
So I'm definitely excited. I feel bad that I haven't watched. Do you think you have to watch the movies?
I think you do. I think
not just because yes. Should you watch the movies? Yes.
I think you should because it would give you a foundation. But do I think they'll do a good enough job? Probably with the first couple.
Setting the stage.
Setting the stage of what the hotel is. But I think you should watch John Wick. In general, you should watch John Wick. It's that amazing of a movie.
John Wick 1 was so good that I immediately watched John Wick 2 right after.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even out yet.
Immediately. No, well, I watched it later.
Yeah. It is
I get that.
An amazing
Thank you for explaining.
An amazing movie. That movie is almost as good as everything that's being brought to Nintendo right now.
That's a great transition. Wow. Got it. You get kudos for that one. High five.
Yeah, thanks.
So,
oh my god, dude, that was such a small little hand. Look at that.
So that's a good transition into kind of talking about some of the new stuff that's happening with the Switch. We talk about the Switch a lot.
Yeah, we do because it's an amazing console.
But you know what? They still don't have voice chat.
Yeah, that's still the thing they're missing.
Fucking Nintendo. So, Super Meat Boy, and actually, Father John, if you can pull this up, Super Meat Boy. Have you ever heard of Super Meat Boy?
Is that where the kid like?
It becomes really hard to say as you say it more times.
Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, Super Meat Boy.
Well, heard of it? It was my nickname in high school.
And that was Super Gay Boy.
Oh yeah.
Different.
I've heard of it. I never played it though.
So Super Meat Boy is a platformer. The idea is it's really, really fast paced, and you jump off of walls and over obstacles and things like that. And as a platformer,
okay. Was it originally
one of the hardest games?
A mobile game? Was it?
No, it was like it was originally I think released off of the 360. Yeah, so it was originally on the 360 for Xbox. There was a whole like argument conversation around like whether or not Microsoft pushed for Super Meat Boy the way that they said that they should, or like what it was agreed upon. But Super Meat Boy, the original, came out back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I remember this game.
2010. Father John just gave me a thumbs up. I'm fucking nailing shit right now. So, it came out in 2010, and it's finally being re-released on the...
Is it remastered re-released or just re-released?
Is it remastered? There's nothing... No, okay. So it's pretty much the original release.
Yeah.
Just like... So, and we'll talk about this in a second, but they're bringing out Dark Souls 3 as well. That actually is being remastered, though. Dark Souls 3. But Super Meat Boy, this is also the original. Now, Super Meat Boy has multiple versions of that game.
Okay.
And so they're just bringing the original. And
okay.
From what I read, it sounded like Super Meat Boy already is... What is it? Super Meat Boy, is it already out or is it on like pre-order or something? It's out.
It's out, yeah. I think they
that makes sense.
They did their announcement and they had a bunch of stuff come out all at once.
Because what I read was that it's selling pretty much as good as it did when it first released.
Yeah.
That's insane. Do you have any numbers on no, there's no... Okay, so... He's like, nah, I'm not going to look at anything
when we're both staring like this and the audience has no idea what we're looking at.
Well, we already said Father John's over there.
Yeah.
We may eventually get a webcam on him, but we'll see. But point being, like, we
will.
We have a lot of games coming out for the Switch. Super Meat Boy is a great one because it's a platformer, and so it just makes sense.
How much is it? Is it like $20, $10, $5?
No, it's like $10 or something. It's not expensive. Couldn't find the button. Give me a second.
$15.
Oh,
okay.
I was close. 15.
All right. Dude, there's so much good stuff coming out. You know, it looks like Mario Tennis is coming out on it.
Yep.
That looks fun
and
as hell.
Donkey Kong, and then there's a bunch of other shit.
Man, but what's a big thing coming out for it?
Well, Dark Souls 3. Have you ever fucking played the Dark Souls?
I played Dark Soul one time, and it pissed me off within like 20 minutes. That I never played it again.
So that's very similar to. Remember we talked way back when about roguelike games?
Yeah.
That's very similar to a roguelike.
Yeah.
So basically, with a roguelike game, what happens is you play through, and if you die, you lose. You go back to the beginning. Well, with Dark Souls, what infuriates so many people is that not only is it a difficult ass game, but the save points are few and far between. And so there's now 3 of those, the three Dark Souls games, and there's one sort of offshoot. There's a spiritual ancestor of it called Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I played Bloodborne on the PS4, and it was fucking amazing. PS3 or PS4, I can't remember. It's fucking amazing. Great game.
And there's rumors of a new Bloodborne game coming out.
Ooh. Yeah. I didn't actually hear about a new Bloodborne game.
Yeah. There was like a little sneaky
kiki between.
But I think we have like an expert.
Oh yeah.
Player.
His Father
right?
John was just
Father
waiting.
John.
He's like, I have to tell you guys.
Do you play Blood? No. Do you play Dark Souls?
Dark Souls. Now, real
wait,
quick.
have you ever played Bloodborne?
Yes.
Okay. Continue.
I'm gonna fully give you my full attention right
Fact check. It's not Dark Souls 3. Coming to Switch.
Oh, it's not?
It's actually Dark Souls Remastered.
Yeah.
Which is a much bigger deal. Here's why.
Okay.
Dark Souls, easily one of the best games. Basically, the premise is don't die. But the plot twist to that is you die a lot. So, fantastic. But they're remastering the original Dark Souls, which is hard as shit. So hard. But easily one of my favorite games. I stayed up until like 4 a.m. fighting the last boss. Like, just burning through the game. And here's what's even better. It probably took... First time playing, probably maybe 10 hours. It wasn't that long.
What? That's it?
To beat the whole game?
Here's the thing. When you beat the game, you enter New Game Plus. And when you beat that, you go to New Game Plus Plus. When you go to that, you go to New Game Plus 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And it just gets progressively harder.
Is there an end?
I think after 7 or 8, I think is when it caps. But it just gets ridiculous. And so it's fun to play it through and through. And
well, so with Dark Souls 3, though, I was told that's like 40 to 50 hours.
It's much longer
for one playthrough.
Yeah, but you gotta think. But what console did their first Dark Souls come out on?
Oh,
was it PlayStation or PlayStation 2?
It was not PlayStation. It was not PlayStation.
It may have been Xbox or PC.
Okay.
Back
then, a 10-hour game was.
Well, it might have been longer.
Hours.
No,
but here's the thing.
With PlayStation, with the original PlayStation, there were
double disc games, but even then, that's.
So you could put hours and hours and hours into Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy 7, I probably put like 32 hours in. I thought that was long.
I had a guide
100
though.
Hours into Final Fantasy 10 or Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
whatever,
15.
Yeah.
So I had somebody who is even better at Dark Souls than I am guide me through the game when I first played it, and like it's insane. Like I died so much. It was so much fun.
I was streaming this, and this is actually another thing that I wanted to get the chance to talk about a little bit. Yeah. But I was streaming this game, Dark Souls 3, not the first one. So clarification: the Dark Souls 1 is the one that's coming out for Switch. But Dark Souls 3, I'm starting to play through, and I had people that were telling me.
Of the game,
I had people that were telling me where to go, what to do, and I still took about half an hour to beat the tutorial boss.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrible. It was awful. It was
It's a game you love to hate.
Murderous. No. And I immediately, when like I was streaming, people were like, "Oh, play Dark Souls 3, play Dark Souls 3." And I'm like fuck. I already know that I'm going to be bad at this and I'm not going to want to play this. It's so infuriating. But I spent maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours in the game, and I made it to like the beginning of the actual first stage.
So I'll say this: the first half of the game and the first part of the game and the last part of the game are the hardest points in the game. Once you get your rhythm down and you get your equipment and you actually feel like you can fuck shit up without dying in one hit,
right?
It gets a lot better.
Okay.
So like the first couple bosses, ridiculous, and you just get and they're huge. Like the wolf.
Sorry.
It's ridiculous.
The wolf.
Man, you haven't played at all. It's
I told you,
there's this giant wolf that just has a sword in its mouth, and it just charges from end to end, fucking you up. It's a lot of fun.
Wow. It's a lot of fun, he says. So
what's going to be so great about the remastered one?
It's the original, but beautified.
I mean, this isn't going to be like gross when they fucking remastered fucking Assassin's Creed and it looked worse after they remastered it.
Well, that was probably only because like they made it to look a certain way, and then the hardware couldn't keep up.
Right.
Like,
so is there like certain things that they're going to be adding that fans wanted in the original?
They'll probably eventually release like DLCs and shit, just like with the Dark Souls 3. Because Dark Souls 3, there's a bunch of DLC that gives you new missions and new quests and new weapons. But I don't foresee the first one really being a huge cash cow. Like I think that this is just the start.
I think it's cool that Nintendo's starting to get games like that. We're not used to Nintendo getting games like that. I think people are. I think companies now. I think there was like this big thing, right? There was companies when the Switch first came out that said this is going to be like the next great thing, and there was other companies like no way, it's not powerful enough, it's not going to do anything. And then now that it's like the best selling console right now, companies are like, oh shit, we better get on board with this.
Yeah, but it's all you have to like take. Hats off to Nintendo for honestly doing a really good job partnering with people. Because
making it easier for people to platform over to it.
Well, actually, from what I heard, it's actually like almost a nightmare to try
Is it? I thought it was a lot easier.
I don't remember if it was to port or to develop. I don't remember which one it was. And obviously those are two very different things for creation of a game. Like building from the ground up for a game versus porting something over, like sometimes that may not be great.
Right.
So like I don't know. I don't know what that looks like for which one's easier. I don't know if that's something that we can find.
Well, I mean, that's a topic for another day to understand. Because I remember something when we first saw the Nintendo Switch coming out, one of the big things people were talking about were describing like the mistake that Nintendo made the first time around, how it wasn't something that was easy to write to or develop for. I don't know the exact terms for it. And I remember when the Switch came out, a lot of people were talking about how they changed the way that they accept coding or whatever that makes it easier for games to be developed for it. So
yeah, I
think it's building from the ground up makes it easy. But
I'm waiting for fucking BioShock to be on the Switch.
Shit.
Oh, if they can tap into that.
Cuphead on the Switch.
Types of,
so wait.
Oh, I was like. Oh, but yeah.
Cuphead on the Switch.
I thought Cuphead was already on the Switch. That's what's crazy.
Cuphead should 100% be on the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I did want to get the Switch to play games like Zelda, but I couldn't commit to the console because it's just Nintendo games, and that's been my biggest pet peeve for Nintendo forever. Yep. But I love the functionality of the Switch, so, like, I think I'll buy one.
Yep.
It's crazy to see, like, all your friends having one now.
It's just...
I was recently at an airport, and, like... a bunch of people had it, and I was like, man,
it's just too easy.
Yeah, it's just too easy to take with you.
Like the idea that you can switch back and forth between a big screen or if you've seen like there's even projectors now that you can just hook it up to.
Like, it's awesome. I saw my buddy doing that. I wonder if this is like something. It's just a theory of mine, but sometimes I feel that when a game doesn't have the best power to make the best graphics, makes the games better because you have to focus hardcore on gameplay versus graphics saving the day. Like, a lot of people focus hardcore on graphics, but the gameplay's not that good. Zelda proved you could do both, but, like, I really think if you're like, you know what, it doesn't have the power to make it, like, this most amazing looking game, but we'll make the gameplay so amazing that you won't be able to put it down. And I think they've done a really good job of
But now so that's actually, this is a good segue kind of transitioning out of that into... talking about graphics and new easy-to-use consoles.
Yeah.
So the Switch, the reason why it's so successful is just because of the fact that it is so easy to move around. You can go wireless. You don't have to be connected to anything. Well, now, so last week we talked about the HTC Vive being like there was going to be a new announcement. Well, now we know exactly what it was. They were talking about the HTC Vive Pro. So taking a stab at going wireless, and they actually upgraded the display. I think the numbers that I read, it was like 78% more pixels. Like it was 1920 by 1200 or something crazy. Or like I guess it's not super crazy when it's up close on your face. But then on the new Vive Pro, it's like 78% more pixels, which makes it way more like it's a Retina. I don't know what you want to call it. Like it's a
high quality,
like a 2K display in your face.
It's 2880.
2880.
People understand when you say with a K. So is it 2K?
It's equivalent to 2K basically.
About 2K.
It's about 2K. 2K.
Nobody understands that. So
8K?
K.
Oh my goodness.
So we have 4K stuff already, but now we have 2K.
But 2K in your face is very, very,
in your
very
face.
different. So like 2K.
So now when you're in those fucking nerd ass chat rooms,
you can see those titties and
you can see those
full
titties
res.
in full 2K.
They look real good.
Real nice.
But not only that, so the wireless adapter, you have to buy an adapter for it.
Yep.
But it goes wireless now.
Have we seen? So they have a bunch of new accessories. They have the wireless adapter. I think. Do we know how well the wireless adapter works? As in,
so
is there a lag? Is there not a lag? How powerful a computer do you have to have?
There is latency, but not enough to cause problems. Like,
is that what it is?
That's what that. So
is it going off Wi-Fi? How's it pushing it so hard?
It's probably proprietary signal. Okay. It's probably something that's built proprietary from the adapter that connects directly to
now
the computer.
It's pretty expensive, right? It's like $300 just for the wireless, right?
Oh, I don't know the price.
Have they set a price on it?
That's the rumor.
The rumor's $300.
Yeah, so still, I mean, when you look at the Vive, especially because I think that dropped in price too, and it's supposed to be equating similar to the Oculus, because the Oculus dropped in price as well. The idea is it's finally becoming more.
Don't say accessible because you still have to spend a bunch of money on a fucking computer. So don't say that. Let's do it by the numbers. Let's say I want to get the new one, right? Now,
so most people already own a PC or a Mac though that can potentially.
No way. Not that can power it. So wait a minute. No. How much was the Vive when it first came out? Not when it was discounted. When it first came out.
$600-$700.
Okay, so more likely the new one's going to be between $500 and $700. So we'll say $600 right there. So I'm at $600. If I didn't know how to build a PC, so let's say I'm a newcomer and I don't know how to build a PC, how much am I spending on a PC that's going to not just get me in the door, but a decent, not the most powerful, but a medium?
Give or take around $1,000.
Around $1,000. Okay, so I'm at $1,600 now, and I want it to be wireless. So I got to spend $2,000 to live in the world of VR.
My point though was not that. No, you're gonna say newest shit. It is more accessible. So because we now have
for what rich kids.
So now that we have this new tech, the old tech is more accessible.
Yeah. So now we're just giving old tech to the poor.
Okay, so just like how when the Xbox One comes out, now all of your friends can play on the Xbox One.
Yeah, but there's not that big difference between an Xbox One S and an Xbox One X.
One and X. Not One S, the Xbox One versus the Xbox One X.
Yeah, but I mean the Xbox One S isn't that pricey now.
Right, so that's my point. So
but what I'm saying is
buying an Xbox One. So remember, there's an Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Xbox One X.
Right, but nobody's going to buy an Xbox One. Like most people at home bought an Xbox One S.
Okay, yeah, because they're very, very, very reasonably priced,
but they're still very similar. Like you're not getting too much difference in the Xbox.
But you're not getting my point though. My point is that the Xbox One, if you cannot afford that jump, you can still play the newest Xbox One games on a console that's fit.
I still need a really powerful PC to play the first one.
Not necessarily.
How much? $600?
Less and less. Like you could probably build it for $600.
Not build it, buy.
Well, so most of the people that are playing in
that's not
VR
fair. I'm
right
talking
now,
about people that want to try to get into this.
Sure,
trying to get
the
into
people that want to get into it, like there's no problem with.
So even if you wanted
to
get into like the base, you're still looking about $1,000 just to get in.
So not everybody has the ability to just burn a bunch of money on.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Consider this though, like if you buy a 4K gaming console, you need a 4K TV. 4K TV.
But I can play my 4K gaming console on a non-4K TV. So I can still have the capability if I have it, but I can still jump into it if I want.
But that's not the purpose.
You're not utilizing the technology.
But maybe I want to get that and I know I'm going to afford that later on. I can't just buy.
So you can upgrade parts in a computer later on too.
Yeah.
No, but I would have to buy my computer. No. Hold on. I know you can do that. That's not what I'm saying. You're not listening. Pay attention. Let me educate you for a second. What I'm saying is I can't just buy the VR set and be able to play it. Because I got to buy the PC too.
Not necessarily.
I can buy the Xbox and not have a 4K TV, but still play the Xbox.
Well, so
That's
you
what
already,
I'm saying.
but you already have a TV.
Right. But not everybody might not.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if Vive comes down to $300 and most people have a computer already.
My thing is like, what's the average person that's going to have a computer that's powerful enough to play the Vive? Because most people aren't.
Well, you also have to refer to gamers, though. You have to refer to gamers. It's not. I know, it's but not just now if
we're just talking about gamers, that's different. But if we're talking about making it more accessible for people, it's not doing that.
Well, that's not the
Samsung's doing that.
We're referring to gamers though, because when you talk about
gamers, if we're referring to gamers, that's fine.
Because the difference between like all people and gamers is the same for VR is the same thing as the difference between all people and gamers for an Xbox One X. Your average person is not going to go buy an Xbox One X. Your true gamers, are going to go get the Xbox One X, right? Your people that just want to game are going to get an Xbox One.
You can't even want to VR without spending a lot of money.
I mean, it's generally more expensive, yes, 100%, because it's newer tech than the One X, 100%.
Right,
but it is becoming more accessible because
it's getting there, but it's not that accessible.
But yet. If you already if you already own a PC, right, whether or not you have
PC are anywhere between brand new and 5 years old because people don't upgrade their computers like we do.
You can
a 5-year-old computer's not going to push.
If you built out a bomb ass computer 5 years ago, I guarantee it can run it.
No way, because like a bomb ass computer I built 5 years ago isn't running footage, like camera footage. It's gonna bog. It's gonna bog there too.
But you're talking about like rendering.
Yes, VR takes a lot of power.
You're talking about rendering 6K and 8K images, though.
But VR still takes a lot of power.
It does take power, but a lot of that takes place in the headset.
I just don't think
that's where the tech comes from.
I just don't think it's super accessible yet. I think Samsung is doing a great job of having like little headsets and everything that you can like kind of start experience VR. But I don't think VR gaming is super accessible to people yet. I don't know if the price point's ever going to get there until.
I don't think it's where it needs to be. Yeah. I agree. I'll agree with you on one piece. I don't think that it's as accessible to everybody, but my point is it's becoming more accessible. If I already have a PC that I game on, or I already have a Mac that I have the ability to do certain things with.
Father John said he spent too much money on
that. Guaranteed that's not true. But point being, if you already have some of that hardware because that's something that you do anyways, then you're not spending a bunch of money. No, if you're already gaming in that way, then you get.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I was disagreeing if you were saying it was more accessible.
It is more accessible. It's totally more accessible. You can buy a PSVR. You can get a Windows mixed reality headset. Like they're dropping in price drastically from where they were, and so it's a lot easier to. Let's say this: a console when it first comes out,
very expensive.
$500-$600.
No, I'll agree with you on that.
Right? Drops down to $300. It's more. We call that more affordable.
Do you think the difference is going to be a lot different between the two?
It's called more affordable, right?
Like a big difference, a huge difference.
I think so.
Like enough where you feel stupid for buying the cheap one.
So my Vive right now, like I feel like it's great, but it's still generation 1.
Yep.
Yeah. Now the Vive can be up to a 10 by 10 meter room. You have a 30-foot by 30-foot room play area. You guys talk about like Vive and why it's. I think Vive's the best because of that.
It will get there. I just. How many people have a clear 30 by 30 room that they can play in?
Obviously not, right? Yeah. People don't, but I think the room scale of it.
I mean, not everybody has 2 living rooms, Tyler. I mean, I do, but.
And even though I don't have, well, I mean, actually,
you have the space.
I do have the space. Okay, so I can't really make that argument. Yeah. Never mind. But point being, there's a big difference between those. Looking at the $600 headset versus a $300 headset.
Right.
It's the same deal in my mind as dropping from a $600 console to a $300 console.
I gotcha.
Right. So it's definitely more accessible. It's just there is time that needs to take place. Like we need 3 more years before all of a sudden most people.
We're back.
And on that note, sorry for technical difficulties. We will see you guys next week. Hey, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me 5. Podcast. Check our stuff out. Small hands.
Bye.
VR sucks.